Good afternoon, Global Pet Expo shoppers. This is Chris Miller with Finding More Space in Your Store. A lot of stores have been downsizing or they're trying to get more products per square inch and per square foot. And over the 40 years of designing and building stores, we've come up with some spectacular high density tips where you can create 78 linear feet of selling space in an average 2,400 square foot store. It's free. It would be equal to freeing up about 280 square feet of space without having to spend the rent on it. So these tips I'm going to tell you about is basically taking advantage of the cube and finding ways to create more selling space in your store. I ask all my sessions, how many people need more space in their store? And they all raise their hand. I need more space. And unless you're selling at least $400 per square foot per year, probably not a good idea to expand your store. It's better to get your sales and your inventory turns to a point where you're doing about 4 turns of inventory and at $400 a square foot per year in sales. Then it's kind of time to expand. So if you're out of space in your store and you're not at that kind of sales level to expand next door or find a new location, this is a great way to get more selling space in the same square footage. So here's some of the ideas. This is only a 15-minute seminar, but it's some great takeaways for you to go back and implement in your store. Swing panels. You'll notice the 3 swing panels on the wall here. There's actually 20 inches on each side. So you got 40 times 3 is 120 inches. That's 10 feet of display in a 4-foot section. It's 2.5 times more merchandise in the same area. All you have to do is swing the panel back and forth. It's great for small peg items, collars and leashes, these mats, anything that can fit on a 4-inch hook. In fact is we can actually get 4 of these in a 4-foot section with 4-inch hooks. And it's a little tight, but we do it, and you can get another 40 inches. So this is the 3-panel system, but they're adjustable. So they're on little pins. You can move them around and adjust them any way you want. But think about that, getting 10 feet of space in a 4-foot section. These are our double bypass sliders. So you have the back wall, which is your normal display, but there's 2 2-foot sliders that slide back and forth in front. So basically we get 8 feet of merchandise in a 4-foot section. So this 16-foot gondola here has got double sliders. It's actually 32 feet long of display space to sell more merchandise. We've doubled our sales ability within the same footprint. Collar and leash racks are awesome because they're tiered. We can put the leashes in the back and take the collars and halters and put them in front. This one here has just 2 tiers, and then you got the base deck. But some of the other sets, they'll put in another row of 12-inch. So we start out with the peg going in the actual gondola, pegboard or slat wall. Then or a hang bar, 1-inch bar. And then we have a 6-inch and then a 12-inch bar, which will allow the product to fall in behind the other. So we can condense the merchandise and still have it for sale. So this can actually get up to 12 feet of merchandise in a 4-foot section. So we triple the SKUs per square foot. So great way to enhance your selling space. Now on our end caps, our side power, see the 2 sides, they're slat wall power side end caps. Each one of those are 2 feet, but they're only 6 inches deep. So what happens is we lose a foot of merchandise on the front, and we put 2 ends on either side. So that gives us 2 and 2 is 4. We lose 1, but we gain 3 linear feet of wall space. And if we did that on 6 end caps, that's 18 feet of space of product at eye level. That's toys, treats, anything like that we can put in this set. You can add TVs up top. You can add lights. You can add all different types of things to dress them up, color as well. But it's a great way to get a net 3 feet of space, selling space on every end cap. There's a different view of it. It's one with got beadboard on it, so it's a different design. But you can see how we've wrapped and capped each side. A lot of the stores these days, in the front of the store, we design it low, 54 to 60 inches high, and it's more for the impulse buys and to keep the visibility up and see through. And then the second 2/3 of the store becomes more utilitarian, where we have our dog food and our cat food and our more of our bread and butter products that we have to go high to get the capacity in. But this could be done on a low gondola as well, 60 inches high, which we're doing in this big store up in Detroit right now because they wants to keep a nice sight line in the store. So think about, doesn't have to be tall. This could be on low ones as well. So you still gain that extra 3 feet of selling space. Check out impulse panels. You'll notice the little slat wall impulse on the counters. This frees up the counter space for customers to transact. Now, you'll notice on this actual picture, the computer POS is in the area where you do transactional space. This is at a trade show. Those would actually be wrapped around on the back side of that impulse, covering up all the cords, and then they have the side of the counter that can free up and let people unload their hands. Kind of like a shopping cart being the top of the counter. That's customer space. But you'll notice here as well, we wrapped the end caps on 4 ends. There's cash registers behind, and we've got the arbor over the top, and they've got some different displays for season. I think it's Halloween. They're doing some displays for that as well. But the top of the counter is customer space. If they can unload their hands, they can spend and buy more more things. So it's a great way to say, hey, this is the correct area for us to put our impulse merchandise. Try and leave the countertops clear for customers' products. As you can see here, done with a series of glass cases, shelves, and then a nice area to unload your hands and check out. So the glass case there could be Barkery items or Joy items. So they're staring right at it when they're unloading their cart. There's a close-up. They were put baked goods in there, but at Christmas time, they put high-end collars and other impulses that are right next to the counter, but the customer can help themselves. Also, another place that's great to create some extra selling spaces, recessing in the front of the counter, we put bulk bins, and that can add some extra selling space as well. And the dogs come up and they end up shopping for themselves in the store. So, oh, look what Buffy just bought. Another thing that there's a lot of wasted space in the store is people say, oh, I gotta have slat wall. Well, slat wall is not the best merchandising tool on the planet because it's 3 inches on center. Every groove is every 3 inches. Some slat walls are 4 inch, some 6, some 8 and 12. Anything that divides into 12 inches or a foot or 48 inches is basically what you can have slat wall made as. So most stores have a 3 inch on center, but this on the picture here is basically aluminum slat wall, and it's an S. It goes back and forth and back and forth, so you can hang a hook on either side. So this actual aluminum slat wall is just one piece, but I can hang a hook on either side. So it's less expensive than buying 2 pieces of slat wall at 3 inch on center. I do one at 1.5 inches. Now I have product every 1.5 inches, so I have more adjustability. I have less gaps between products. So if you do this in an entire store, oftentimes you get that extra row of merchandise in. And again, we're not selling slat wall, we're selling the product. So the best store fixture is one you can't see. So if we can cover it up, make it disappear, we've done our job. Also, another trick of the trade is a drop hook. If you have slat wall and you put it in there and it's like, oh, I wish it was dropped just a little bit so I can get that extra product in. Drop hooks solve that problem. They're welded lower or higher. So if you have a few dozen of these in your arsenal of merchandising, you can then do your set. And if something's not fitting, you pull out these specialty hooks where the wire is welded to the backplate a little bit lower. Then you can get that extra row of product in and not have to lose out on that 3 inch on center locked in adjustability. And then a lot of times you get up to the canopy or a shelf or something that doesn't allow you to put the hook in because you have to tilt it in. This is a twist in hook. So if you twist into the back plate, You can go straight in and twist, and it locks into the pegboard, or as a back plate that fits into the slot wall as well. So you don't have to have your first hook down this far. You can actually have it right at the very top or close to the top. Solves a lot of problems. So this is a two-part hook, they call it. And then again, that collar and leash rack, this is how you get a lot of collars and leashes in, by putting lots of bars and really condensing your product down. One of the tips here, though, is a lot of people order 84-inch high gondola, wall gondola, 7 foot high, because that's what the guy on the the store fixture guy on the end of the street has. That's what he's got in the stock. So you say, oh yeah, it's standard. Well, it's not standard. There's nothing standard in store fixtures. The nice thing is you can order it 6 inches taller. 90 inches is our standard, and I would say 95% of the stores we design, we do 90-inch walls. Instead of 84, we do it at 90 to gain 6 inches of space. And we also order low base. So the base deck is 2 inches lower than the average one that you can pick up at the supplier down the road. So we've gained a total of 8 inches of space. So now I can get another row of product in my entire store. If my entire store has got 20 wall units, 4 feet long, I have just added, how much is that? 4 times 20, 80 feet, 80 feet of merchandise that's in the same footprint. Just because I went with low base and I went a little higher on the shelving, still reachable, still sellable. Great way to add space to your store. Another tip, not even on here, but I'm just going to throw it in as a freebie, is drawers. There's drawer units that can go in the kick. So if you have no back room or no stock room, that little 4-inch kick in the bottom, you can make a drawer and have back stock in there, or back boxes, or peg hooks in there. You have anything you want. So that little low space underneath the kick, they make drawers. So ways to find space. A lot of times you have oversized boxes. So you take out the back panel and you can slide it in all the way through. This is great for the fences. And a lot of people don't know you can do this, but you can go an open back system. So you can put these large items as a through and through on your gondolas. The biggest waste of space is using the cantilever racking versus wide span. Wide span is that light duty pallet rack that you see in all the stores, and the beams are 3 3/4 of an inch thick, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 15 inches of beams that I can't put merchandise. But if I go to a cantilever type rack, which is the standard gondola, which I can still get 500-pound capacity per shelf, I can go from 5 to 7 shelves. I can even do a slant top, and I can get an extra row of can, or I can get an extra row of bags. And again, I can have a low base. I can go a little taller, and I can get a lot more merchandise cube. And I don't have to candy stripe all my flavors of food. I can get stacks going the way I want. So awesome way to gain space in your store. Then you don't have those posts in the way. You get down and, oh, I want to get that bag in, but there's a post in the way. Dang it. And so it hinders you. So the barrier-free merchandising left to right. So basically, if we were to take these space-saving ideas, gaining 3 feet on an end cap, getting swing panels, tiered racks, double sliders, a net gain from all these ideas about 76 feet of wall space. If we were to take that 76 plus 4.5 foot aisle, it's 342 square feet, and we got a 17% increase at 2,000. Retail store rent would be about 8,200 in rent savings that we don't have to pay for. We just picked it up in product in the same footprint. So awesome way to go. I'd like to take 1 second and look at 1 or 2 items that you learned that you can promise yourself you can go back and implement in your store. 1 or 2 items. Was it swing panels, sliders, taller, better back panels, merchandising hooks, just ways to find more space, maybe underneath your counter. 1 or 2 things that you learned in this session you'd like to go back and implement. I just challenge you to do it. You'll be surprised at the results. People see more, and they always want better selection. They always want to see more merchandise. So it's a great way to create more selling space in the same footprint without having to pay the rent. You save $8,000 in rent by doing all these great ideas and have more product to sell. Again, I got a virtual booth at the show, so stop in, send me some texts, some call outs. We set up phone appointments, free conference calls, send me some pictures of your store. Glad to help you out any way you can, and I hope you enjoyed the session. And thank you for shopping at Global Pet Expo. Have a great show. Thanks.